Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hurricane Ian has passed us. My family and I are safe. Right now, I just want to talk about the good stuff. Let's get into crypto and specifically the top projects that I'm looking at that I believe can make me very wealthy in the future. More specifically, the next bull run, which I believe could be 2024, 2025. So before I get into that, if you find any of the content that I'm putting out here right now insightful or helpful, please hit that like button. And if you want to continue to see more of my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And lastly, hit that notification bell to be notified when I come out with new content. So let's get into it. The market is mixed right now. Overall, though, we're in a bear market and there's a lot of things, a lot of headwinds out there in the world that is just putting everything down. Considering everything we've been through as far as, the global stuff and inflation here, crypto's held up pretty well. Bitcoin is still 19K. Granted, it's not where we thought it would be right now, but it's not at the lows. I mean, we're talking about lows before we're in the single digits. We're still, touching 20,000. So that's positive. ETH after the 2.0 merge, people were expecting a big crash. It's still holding at 1300. So things are looking pretty positive. So mixed bag. Overall, though, the sentiment is, fear and greed is about 24. So extreme fear. Just people don't know where the economy is headed right now. Specifically in the US, we got inflation and the Fed is talking about raising rates more. So we got a lot of things going on here. Inflation doesn't seem to be going down. Gas prices are going down, but everyday shopping, going to the supermarket, restaurants, you don't see that. Rent is, I guess, stabilizing, but still high as hell. So, in the world, Europe's not doing any better as far as gas prices and prices all around the world. Inflation's out of control. So, with that being said, people have to choose as far as what they want to spend their money on. And unfortunately, crypto is not at the top of the list. But if you're watching this channel and like I know, sometimes you got to, dig into things when people are scared. This is when you put your foot down. And if you believe in something, that it'll change your future. So that's why you and I are here right now. So what I'm going to go through is my checklist, what I think are going to be the top projects for the next bull run and beyond. So the criteria that I look at if they have a good team, if they have a good use case, what do they do? Is it something that everyone else does or something that sets them apart? Does the project have any following? Is there any adoption? You can have the best technology in the world, but if no one's using it, what's the point? Tesla right now, they have good technology. They have good vehicles and everyone wants it. But then you can have another one like Lucid. Yeah, they have good technology. Car looks great. But if no one's buying it, what's the point? Lastly, good tokenomics. So basically, you want to look at the total supply versus what's out there. If it's an inflationary coin versus deflationary. So I look at these things in order to make my decision. So let's see what we get. First one, Bitcoin, tier 1, top notch. There's nothing in my mind that compares to Bitcoin right now. It's the safest crypto. And with everything going on in the world as far as, inflation and world currencies, if you look around, all the world currencies, as far as the values go, they're just dropping. You look at the pound versus the US dollar, pound's going down, inflation's high everywhere. So and Bitcoin's good for an inflation hedge. Definitely good for that. And it's good for a store of value. If you look at the dollar versus what the dollar could buy you 5 years ago, what Bitcoin, $1 of Bitcoin could have bought you 5 years ago, there's no comparison. That $1 of Bitcoin could get you so much more now versus this dollar, US dollar specifically. So as far as adoption goes, Grayscale offers it to their wealthy clients. Fidelity wants to offer it now to some of their clients as well. Fidelity in the US is a big retirement 401k type company. Square has a big holding of Bitcoin. Tesla also, although they sold some recently, they still have some holdings of Bitcoin. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, also personally has it. And El Salvador adopted it as legal tender. There's other partnerships and other people adopting crypto as well. And Bitcoin seems to be the safest one. So I like Bitcoin. And also they, with the Lightning Network, it kind of speeds up the transaction speeds when you use Bitcoin. But if like I know, Bitcoin, you're not using that for transactions. You're holding that and you're letting it accumulate, appreciate in time. Next is Ethereum. Ethereum is the big mamma jamma. As far as L1s go, it's the top. No one's touching it. You hear a lot of ETH killers out there and everything like that, but no one comes close. Right now, they have a lot of market share and pretty much DeFi, NFTs, everything runs on Ethereum. So right now, that I think besides Bitcoin, it's the second safest one in my opinion. Adoption, they have over 484,000 daily active users. And as far as DeFi goes, they have 32 billion total value locked. Tokenomics, there's no max supply. However, right now circulating, they have about 121 million in circulation. And they implemented the EIP 1559 last year, which makes ETH deflationary as it becomes more busy. And they also recently had ETH 2.0, which helps with changing over from proof of work to proof of stake. Over time, ETH's going to have some more updates about 4 or 5, and that's going to help them with speed and the gas fees. So also their set supply is set to decline 2% annually. So that's pretty big. So ETH is my second favorite as far as safe goes. Now let's get into my tier 2 cryptos. Let's start off with Cardano ADA. I love this project. I like it a lot. And it's been getting a lot of flack because it's so slow and all these other chains are passing it and it's not doing enough, not a lot of activity. But for me and Cardano, I like their vision. I like what they're doing and I see the future. As well as their holders, people that enter the project are very, very passionate about it. And they have a very charismatic, leader, Charles Hoskinson, who's also one of the leaders and founders of Ethereum as well. So he has some knowledge as far as building a successful L1. But, people follow him. They like what he has to say. Like I said, he's very charismatic. But for me, what does it for me is I like the fact that they are decentralized. A lot of these L1s that are coming out right now are not. And their purpose, their objective is to bank the unbanked. Concentration in Africa where not a lot of people know what a bank is, can even access a bank. And he wants to solve that. And I like that vision. I like what they're doing. Right now, as far as adoption goes, they have about 59,000 daily active users currently. As far as DeFi, they have about 75.9 million. Tokenomics is about 45 billion. They have a total supply of 34.9 billion versus 34.2 circulating billion. News, most recently they had the Vassal upgrade, which is going to help with scalability and also functionality, performance. Also, it claims that this new upgrade will help bring more developers onto the blockchain. So again, their process is a little bit more slow, scientific, because they don't want any outages. I'm going to get to that in the next slide. Or anything like that. They just want to take the slow and efficient, process. And as soon as everything comes out, then they should hope to have, be full steam ahead and running pretty quickly. Also, they're rumored to be part of the ISO 222 as well, compliant. Well, that's big. Next is Solana. The team, as far as the founder goes, Anatoly is pretty much the face of it. He has a Qualcomm background. So he has the background in technology and all of that. Use case, they're basically L1. They claim to be very fast. Transaction per second up to 65,000, which is pretty big. Adoption, they have about 21.5 million daily active users. TVL 1.3 billion in DeFi. So total value locked in DeFi is 1.3 billion, which is impressive. Tokenomics, there's no max supply. However, the total supply is about 511 million versus 355 million circulating. In news, they just had an outage. This was reported. The outage was for about 2 hours, and apparently is a validator issue in the block size, and that's what led to that. Since 2001 or 2021, they've had 5 outages, 5. And every time the outage time is getting less and less, but still this is cause for concern. But why I'm still a believer in the project, Google had some issues as well. Google had over 5 outages, and look at Google now. I mean, everyone uses Google. So I think the team basically, with the speed and what they're trying to do, they're pushing limits. And I just talked about how many daily active users they have, 21.5, you're going to have some issues. When you have that much activity on the blockchain, things will happen. They're still in beta, so hopefully they can work everything out with all this traction that they're getting. I still believe in the project. Over 1 billion in transactions. The next closest is Tron that had 3.9 billion. Helium is now on the Solana network, and I believe that, they're going to be a force to reckon with. Not to mention right now NFTs are down, but if you look at the graphs and NFT activity, Solana is taking a big share of ETH's market cap when it comes to NFTs. So Solana, the outages, don't like it, but there are a lot of positive things to think about when it comes to Solana, and it's still in beta. Next, we have Polygon MATIC. Polygon MATIC is basically layer 2 for ETH. And basically, Polygon and MATIC, they run hand in hand. ETH needs Polygon in order for speed, to make, speed up the transaction speeds, as well as for gas fees. However, independent of that, being a layer 2, they also have their own thing. They're big as far as TVL goes. They have over 7.79 billion total value locked. They have over 365,000 daily active users. As far as the tokenomics go, they have 10 billion total supply versus 8.73 billion in circulation. They have a lot of stuff going on. ZK rollup technology. They're buying those little programs or companies up, integrating it into Polygon. Starbucks, Robinhood, Meta, Stripe. They choose MATIC to assist with their Web3 goals. And also, they're going to be one of the projects tapped to help Disney with their NFT space as far as gaming, virtual reality. So that's big too. So MATIC has a lot of things going on for it. Right now, not only does Ethereum need that until they complete their full transition, they need Polygon to survive, but also Polygon's running on its own and doing its own thing. So Polygon is very, very good project in my opinion. Cosmos. Cosmos basically is another one. It enables blockchains to transfer value with each other through IBC and PegZone, basically connecting blockchains. As far as adoption goes, it has 470,000 Twitter followers. Tokenomics, the max supply is unknown. Circulating supply is 286 million. Most recently, they announced a Cosmos or Atom 2.0. Basically, it's going to add more utility to the hub and offer security and scalabilities to other blockchains. And also, it's going to introduce liquid staking. So liquid staking, you can stake your Atom and you can earn coins from other projects that interact with Cosmos. So that's pretty dope. So basically, Cosmos is basically interconnecting a lot of blockchains, having them talk to each other. Cosmos is very much needed in the crypto space, and I'm surprised it doesn't get talked about a lot. But Cosmos is one that I'm definitely going to have in my bag, have a good holding of. Cosmos is dope. Next, we have QUANT. QUANT basically overledger blockchain allows companies operating in multiple markets to exchange info and assets more securely and cost effectively. It's mainly business to business. Adoption, they have 102 Twitter followers, 102,000 Twitter followers. Max supply is 14 million, 14.6 million versus circulating supply of 12 million. Now that is what I want to highlight right there. As far as deflationary, these numbers right here are even better than Bitcoin because Bitcoin is 21 million total supply, max supply rather. And also this is rumored to be ISO 22222 compliant. So what they're trying to do is help businesses that are in different markets transact their business securely and quickly. And if you add to that, them being ISO compliant, and we know that central banks right now are coming up with their digital dollars. US they're talking about it. UK is talking about it. And all these other companies, they see the way fiat is headed. It's headed downwards. I think that's what, a lot of companies, or a lot of countries are going to do. Digital currencies is going to be the future. And this company here, I think has a good position to be into that. I can see a company interacting with them, or I keep saying company, a country interacting with them and saying, we want your technology. And I can see that happening. So Quant is huge. And based on their tokenomics alone, that's why I want to be in Quant. So take a look at it. As a matter of fact, my next video is going to be about Quant. I want to take a deep dive into it and to kind of explain it in greater detail. There's just too much information, too many slides. That's why I can't get into Quant right now, but take a look. Next is HEDERA. HEDERA uses hash graph technology versus blockchain. And the difference is it allows hundreds of thousands of transactions per second since the info transfers or travels exponentially. So like a graph, imagine that like a graph. Also, miners on Hashgraph can choose order of transactions. They can delay them or even stop them from entering the block. Most importantly, what I like about this project, it's patented. Hashgraph is patented by HEDERA, which is awesome. Adoption, they have about 250 Twitter followers. And as far as DeFi, they have about 17.9 million locked. Tokenomics, they have a 50 billion max supply versus 22.9 circulating. They're also rumored to be ISO 222 compliant. I'm talking about central bank digital currencies. They could be one of the players as well. Also, recent news, UK government partnered with them to build air traffic control infrastructure. That's pretty good too. If a government is looking at you and looking at your project and technology to assist with something like air control, which is very, very important. Millions of lives and basically in their responsibility. If they trust your technology to help with that, you already know that speaks volumes. So HEDERA, be on the lookout for that one. I'm holding that. Next, we have SANDBOX. SANDBOX is just a big player in the metaverse. Metaverse was real hot during the tail end of the bull market. Kind of cooled off now. No one's talking about it, but this is when you want to get in. No one's talking about it right now. You fill your bags. This, as far as the price goes, last bull run was very high. Right now, we're talking about a price that I believe is under $1. You got to get into it. Not financial advice, but I'm just saying, if you believe in metaverse and what the future holds with that, I think it's going to be pretty positive. Their adoption, they have over 1 million Twitter followers, 1 million. Tokenomics, there's no max supply. It's unknown. Total supply right now is 3 billion versus circulating supply 1.5. So half is already out there. They have partnerships with DBS, which is a big Asian banking giant, HSBC, that's a huge bank. They're wanting to get into esports and gaming, metaverse. Warner Music Group trying to get involved. And I believe with the metaverse and maybe their record artists or recording artists wanting to get in metaverse and perform concerts and all of that, I think that's where that's coming in. That's a good partnership. Snoop Dogg bought property on SANDBOX, Gucci, Adidas. SANDBOX is going to be huge. I still believe in the metaverse. I have kids, they're on Roblox, and it's kind of like the metaverse, and they're on that thing for hours. I have to kick them off. And adults, we can get into it as well. SANDBOX is being slept on right now. It's a great opportunity to get in on it. Next, we have Flow. Flow is basically a blockchain, and it helps support games, DeFi, and NFT. That's their niche right there. It's just basically games and NFTs. The adoption, they have about 186,000 Twitter followers. Daily active users, about 67,000. Total value locked, they have 3.7 million. Tokenomics, the unknown, as far as their max supply goes. The total supply is 1.3 billion. Circulating supply is 1.4. They have partnerships with Ticketmaster, NBA Top Shots, UF Strike, NFL All Day. Now, NFTs, if you look at the use case for NFTs, people see these silly pictures, but I think it's more for authentication and proof of ownership. And if you add Ticketmaster and NFTs, it's a perfect marriage. You know, if you buy a ticket or something like that, or if you have a special VIP pass, instead of hanging the lanyard around, you know, you can show your phone and it's verification of that. I'm a big sports memorabilia person, so NBA cards, rookie cards, NFL rookie cards, and them partnering with that, that's a big market. And if they choose Flow for that partnership, match made in heaven. So I like the use case for Flow. Right now, I think it's tremendously undervalued, and I think it's going to blow the next bull market. Next and the last one on the list is Algorand. Algorand is, you know, they're another L1, and you know what they focus on. They want fast transaction speeds. They focus on businesses as well, but also individuals. Big into DeFi, but they talk about finality. Their finality, as far as the closing of a transaction, they say it should be in about 5 seconds. They have a heavy concentration in Latin America. As far as adoption goes, they have about 298 Twitter followers. Daily active users, they have about 55,000. As far as DeFi goes, they have about 238 million total value locked. Tokenomics, max supply, about 10 billion. Total supply, 7.1 billion versus the circulating supply of 6.9 billion. They're rumored to be ISO, nope, they're not rumored, they are ISO 222 compliant. And we talked about digital currencies and central bank, and these guys are the main player in Latin America. So when those governments employ or start, you know, thinking about digital currencies, who do you think they're going to use? Algorand. Also, they have a big partnership with FIFA. And FIFA, in case you didn't know, soccer is the #1 sport in the world. In the world. You think NFL is big here in the U.S.? FIFA, soccer, biggest in the world. And they're going to have, you know, they have a partnership with FIFA. So NFTs, you know, famous players, cards, pictures, and all that type of stuff, it's going to be with them. Maybe even entrance into certain events, they're going to use Algorand for that. And then, you know, I just think the future is bright for them. You know, tokenomics is what it is, but with heavy adoption, and if people are using this one mainly in that continent of Latin America, South America, the future's sky's the limit for them. So I'm a big fan of Algorand as well. So guys, this was a long video, but I want to go over the projects that I like and the projects that I'm trying to accumulate to have big bags and big positions in for the next bull run, which I believe can generate great wealth. This is my opinion, not financial advice. If you found any of the content of value, please hit that like button. It will mean a lot to me. And if you want to continue to see more of my material, please subscribe to the channel. And lastly, if you want to be notified when I come out with new content, please hit that notification bell to be notified. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great and successful week. Until later, stay safe. Bye.